My name is Bret T, and I'm a clean and sober alcoholic addict. And Kailua Men's Stag is my home group here on the island of Oahu. And my sobriety date is September 20th, 2011. And just to give you a brief overview, I was raised with a very religious mother, very Christian mother, and a very alcoholic father. Um, and I started drinking and using when I was 13. And wouldn't you know it, it was about a year after my dad sobered up. I went to my first meeting when I was 14 years old with my dad because he already saw that I had a problem. But of course, it didn't take. Uh, I went to treatment for the first time at 16 up in Hazelden in Minnesota. And you know what? I didn't even stay clean while I was in there. They managed to take away all my stuff, but I got other stuff somehow. And I was not a very good patient. Um, and, I proceeded to continue drinking and using for the next 33 years till I was 49. I would get court ordered plenty of times, tried to save jobs, save my career in the Air Force, which I got kicked out of. Save marriage number one, save marriage number two. I'd go back to AA after I got really terrified or frightened from a particularly bad blackout, which I had plenty of, tons of those. But every time I would do the right about face and start drinking again and using. I hear people have slips. I took running jumps, and it was quite ridiculous. I full well knew that I was an alcoholic and an addict, and I went back out and drank and used anyway. I'm one of those guys that would come to behind bars and ask the cops, what did I do this time? So I'm very fortunate to still be alive, relatively sane, in one piece, with all my teeth. Still got all my teeth. And, and I had given myself up for dead. I just thought, I know this and I see AA working in other people, but it's not taking in me. Something's heavily wrong with me. I'm doomed. And when my 49th summer, I came to at my parents' house. They didn't have me hauled away. They didn't call the police on me. They let me sleep it off. I came to at my parents' house day after Labor Day, 2011. And that was the 6th, I believe it was. And I woke up and I didn't feel like drinking anymore, which is very peculiar. So I went and got my favorite drink, my bottle of Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill, drank it right down, thinking that this is a passing thing. I don't know. But it came right back up. I wasn't even hungover, wasn't even sick, but it came right back up. And I thought, maybe my desire to drink is gone. And I went to my first meeting that night, and it happened to be at my dad's house where where I slept it off. And I got myself a sponsor that night. It's a man that I'd known years before, about a couple of decades before, and started my journey in AA again. And that's my sobriety date is the 20th because I still smoked weed for the first couple of weeks. And that's why I had to change my sobriety date. All the other hard drugs had fallen to the wayside long before, but weed and liquor were the only two left. And on the 20th, I was clean and sober, and started working the steps right away with my sponsor, and worked through them. But there's still something hanging in my head about the 11th step. Now, before I thought, if there is a God, he certainly has nothing to do with me. All this praying and meditating stuff, that's just some hippy dippy stuff that is just crazy. I don't see how it could possibly work, much less apply to me. And I started to try to pray here and there, but wouldn't you know it, about 6 months later into my sobriety, I went to a men's retreat where the retreat master was the primary subject of his talks was about meditation and prayer. So I listened and I learned a few things. The biggest thing that most stuck out in my head about meditation, for instance, is that you just start and you don't stop. You start as little as it may be, and you just grow and progress with it as you see fit. There's so many different ways to meditate. It's like limitless. And it's funny, I came back from the retreat and I talked to my sponsor. Oh, I learned about meditation and about prayer and everything. And he looked at me and goes, yeah. And I went, oh, is that what you're trying to tell me all these months? So that's when I started meditating and praying every morning, wherever I happen to be, at home or at my girlfriend's house or on vacation somewhere. I do it religiously. It's bizarre for me to use the term religiously. So I just started. I don't like the term "fake it till you make it." What I like is the act as if. I like that better. So I started meditating and praying every morning, and reading books too. So I just started out very slowly, and my first came to mind. I like making up my own things, so I just started, and it just came to mind. I thought, may the sunlight of the Spirit shine within me and through me. And I did that for 5 minutes. And I went, okay, that didn't seem to hurt too much. And then I said a little prayer. I don't remember exactly how I started off, but I just started and I didn't finish. And my readings at the time, I read out of the 24-hour a day book and out of the daily reflections. And that was my beginning. And soon after that, I got myself a Grapevine subscription, and I get the Grapevine every month too. So I started reading an article out of the Grapevine just before I got ready for work as well. And that just progressed and progressed. And so now what I'm about to say is all stuff that I applied to myself, that I just gathered from other sources and put together for myself. And just to give you an example of what I do, is you certainly don't have to do what I do by any means. So every morning I get up, I get my first cup of coffee, I go fetch the newspaper for my mom, and then I come in and I set my clock for 20 minutes to meditate. And currently, my current meditation is just let everything go and let everything be, and trust that you, Great Spirit, will take care of me and guide me. May the sunlight of your Spirit shine within me and through me. May I be at peace and know that all is well. And I do that for 20 minutes. And as different thoughts, about work or whatever come into my head, I just let them go and keep on meditating. Sometimes I like to envision myself just kind of rising out from where I'm sitting, which is usually right on this bed when I'm at home, and just going through the roof and just high above my neighborhood and over the town, and looking out over the ocean and seeing the islands, and then going way up into the heavens as the sun is rising, facing the east. This goes through my head, and I'm just there with the Great Spirit, which is what I like to call my higher power. And other times I envision myself just being like in a forest, and then there's a little brook running by, and I just put my problems in the brook and let it just carry on downstream. Little things like that to help me feel calm inside. And I gather my senses. And as other thoughts come in, I just let them go and continue. And then after I'm finished with that, I do my reading. Or actually, what I like to do is a little affirmations, like look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the realities and verities of existence, the bliss of growth, the splendor of action, the glory of power. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. And then I go, I affirm in the Great Spirit within me and in the Great Spirit all about me that there is nothing wrong with me. I am a kind, gentle, loving, sensitive, and forgiving human being. I was born whole and without shame or fear. I choose not to use guilt as a tool anymore. I choose to be non-judgmental with myself and with others. I choose to love myself and become my own best friend. And then I do my reading, and I read out of the 24-hour day book, daily reflections, a Grapevine's daily quote of the day, steps, touchstones for men is a Hazelden publication, and Courage to Change, which is an Al-Anon book. Oh, yeah, I read that. And Just for Today, which is an NA book, and also Meditations with Native American Elders is one of my favorite ones too. And it's also AA sanctioned. So I read the daily reflective, meditative kind of stuff out of each of those. And then I say my prayer. And usually out of 7 of those books, something's going to click. Something's going to resonate with me and make me think about it and dwell on it a little and carry it with me through the day. And then my prayer, it's like I gather all kinds of little bits and pieces from the big book and so forth. And I'll just recite it right quick. Thank you, Great Spirit, for helping me stay clean and sober in recovery and relatively sane yesterday. And please, Great Spirit, help me stay clean and sober in recovery and relatively sane today. Please save me from getting too upset, excited, or agitated about anything or with anybody, especially at work, in traffic, and at home. Please help me to get through the workday well enough so that I can get home, shower, eat, get to my meeting, share a little bit, say goodnight to my AA brothers and sisters, say goodnight to my sweetheart Tony, and get a good night's rest. Please, Great Spirit, I'm ready again this day that you should have all of me. I pray for the knowledge of your will for me today and a power, wisdom, and willingness to recognize your will for me, and the strength, courage, and enthusiasm to carry it out with humility, acceptance, gratitude, integrity, and dignity. Please align my will with your will for my life. Please guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions. Please guide my steps and show me how to live. Please free me from the bondage of self so that I may better do your will and be there for others. Please remove from me every single defect of character that stands in the way of my usefulness to you, to others, and to myself. Please take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of your power, your love, and your way of life. May I do your will always. Please take away my hurt, my confusion, my frustration, my anger, and my hate, and replace them with healing and forgiveness, contentment, peace, and love. Please take away my weaknesses, my fears, my worries, my doubts, and replace them with strength, hope, faith, and trust. The trust that you, Great Spirit, the AA way of life, the AA fellowship, and the love that Tony and I share will continue to provide my life with meaning, purpose, guidance, and direction. Please help me to be grateful, right-sized, accepting, patient, tolerant, loving, kind, honest, understanding, forgiving, and of service to all, especially my mother and sister, my sweetheart Tony, and Kevin and David, and including myself. Please help me to be awake, aware, alert, to pay attention, focus, and concentrate on the day's duties, responsibilities, and opportunities. Please help me to grow spiritually from all my experiences and to learn from all my mistakes so as not to repeat them. And please grant me calm, cool, collected, confident courage to carefully meet the day's challenges with cheer and a clear heart and mind and a calm spirit. Please help me to be a good, decent, mature, responsible human being of a man in all relationships, areas, and facets of my life. And thank you ever so much, Great Spirit, for Tony and I coming together. And if it is your will for us, may we please continue to grow as soulmates, lovers, and best friends in our healthy relationship of mutual love and respect, support and communication, faith, trust, loyalty, and loving affection for one another. And may Tony and I always be accepting, well-adjusted, and at peace with whatever your will for us as a couple and as individuals may be. May your will be done. And please, Great Spirit, if it is your will, please watch over and protect and bring hope, peace of mind, love, joy, happiness, good health, and prosperity to everyone today who I meet, who are in my thoughts and in my heart and in my soul. And please, Great Spirit, please help each and every one of us to be extra, extra mindful today, to take every precaution necessary to keep ourselves, our loved ones, our family, friends, coworkers, and communities healthy, safe, and sound, and COVID-19 and all its variants free. Please, Great Spirit, please help us and bless us and keep us all. Aho. Amen. And that's it. It's kind of long and drawn out. Might even bother some of you. Is he done yet? But that's the way I do it. And I don't know, I guess I've got a little bit of OCD going on, but I covered some points and more than once. Even I can see that. But it works for me. And you might even say, well, that's pretty lame, but I can think of something better. Please do. Find whatever works for you best and do it. Don't stop. Don't be afraid to expand on it or readjust it or do whatever you want. As long as you continue to pray and meditate, you can't go wrong. I'm so serious. And this is from a chronic relapser that finally the desire to drink and use went away. And I want to hold on to this program with all my might. So I had to think, what was I not willing to do before, and do those things. And prayer meditation was at the top of the list. So that's what I do. And that's what, and I got 10 and a half years, over 10 and a half years, clean and sober, consistently. How the hell does that happen? And all that time I was going in and out of AA. I made 7 months once in 33 years. The rest of the time is a few days to maybe 3 months, and I go right back out again. So take it from me, it works. It certainly works for me, I have to say that. And now I'm 60, 60 years old. Holy gee, I never thought I'd see 40. But I'm so glad I'm still here, still, like I say, alive in one piece, relatively sane with all my teeth. And I get to make my living amends with my mother and sister here at home. And I have a lovely, lovely girlfriend and in a healthy relationship. Oh my, yeah, it's for sure. It's true. And anyway, I could go on and on, but I think my time is probably pretty much up. And but thank you again for allowing me to share. It's always a privilege and an honor. And thank you all for listening. I hope you guys got something from it.